guys. Mm. I have finished the exams. I think I have like 30 of them so far.
People actually celebrate Easter, chat? I know it's like a crazy question to maybe ask, but like I feel like, is Easter actually that people still celebrate that shit?
27.
Y'all still celebrate that shit? I feel like Easter for me was like never really like celebrated. It was like I don't know, I never felt like a big holiday. I feel like Easter's like way bigger now. What did you just say? Sorry.
I was just saying that I finished the exams. I have like 27 copies of them so far.
Yeah, I mean the questions you read yesterday were pretty much perfect. So
yeah, I just put them all in their own separate books for them to fill out with their name and whatnot.
I guess it's fun for kids, like the eggs and shit, right? I don't know. Easter's considered more important than Christmas and Christianity? Jesus. All right. So, let's go through everything here. You two are hard exposed.
Yeah, I suspected that a little bit.
Okay, but why do you think you're hard exposed?
The connections were, well, first of all, because of what Elliot said on the phone to me, right? With people calling meetings with him directly asking about Caroline Calloway. That'd be really fucking weird if we weren't exposed. Brian Knight also pressing him about shit, saying, you know, she might not be who she says she is, stuff like that. Everything I told you that day.
So the only reasons you think I've been exposed?
Which is something unfortunately we haven't been able to follow up on. I received a very strange gift about a week ago that had a key inside of it. I know not who it came from or where or why, because I have been essentially cloistered inside of Babylon for almost a month now.
Okay. So sorry, you said you never followed up with the key. You don't have any idea what it is or who it came from?
Regrettably, we have not had the time as of yet, as my meditations have called upon me.
Yeah, I mean, aside from that, it's also just been super fucking busy overall. When you went in disguise, CJ, was it only you, or have you also
disguise?
Have you also gone in disguise, Eliza, or has it only been CJ?
It has been CJ for everything.
Okay, it depends. So there's two different disguises. The first was when you two went with me to the bank, right? You were in disguise there.
That is true.
And
yes.
You were also in disguise with me, right? The second one, very different disguise. Very different person. That's when I was alone.
Did you ever hide your neck scar?
The first time when I was with you two, no. The second time, yes. Every other time, yes.
Okay. So, Diego's like deep as fuck with the Faceless.
Diego?
Yeah.
That doesn't part. So he's deep.
Deep, and I'm talking like we went through. He's working with Brandon Valentino. We went through all of his notes. Unbelievably detailed.
Like how? In what way?
In what way? What?
Like detailed on what?
Everything they've been doing, and then, well, so they've been investigating similar to you guys, right? Who, you know, the Roman Gray, the info regarding him, Amanda Miller,
yes.
All that bullshit. They've also been going to the same investigations, incredibly detailed investigation. Actually, I wish I could have. I was supposed to take his notes, and we're supposed to compare notes or some shit, but him and Brandon Valentino, and when the topic came up of obviously somebody else is aside from Brian Knight and the marshals, whatever. So, but there's another party involved in this investigation trying to figure out the same things that we are. And they mentioned it being a female. Hold on, I got it written down here. What's the email? What's the email chat? Who's getting a call?
Me.
From who?
Basin.
Yeah, go ahead and hang that up. Tell him to tell him never call you again. So they kidnapped Robert. For more info to see who's looking.
Robert?
Yeah, a man named Robert. They kidnapped him for more info to see who's looking into, you know, this whole bullshit. They know it's a female, long blonde hair, scar on her neck, and has an accent.
Wait. Okay, that's not correct, actually, at all.
Okay, that doesn't matter. You tell me it's incorrect, doesn't matter. This is the information they have. They suspect it was Eliza and CJ. Then Diego claims that he actually has people who are in the New Babylon currently as we speak that feed him information. On top of that, Charlie himself claimed that I think yesterday he said, or this week, or very recent, he was approached by a person from New Babylon who called himself Mr. D. And I guess he has a plan to fuck us over. And he said, quote unquote, I don't like being used by Lang and the Mardukes. And then once they went deeper into who they suspect, obviously Eliza was brought up and you were brought up. You know, obviously he suspects that you guys were the ones who blew up the New Epsilon building.
Yeah.
You both have obviously a scar on your neck, so he doesn't know which one is which. That's undercover. He's very well aware of y'all's. I forgot the word that he used. He used a very specific word, but y'all love to investigate shit. Pretty much is what he was putting down.
Okay.
And it seems like he's very deep. He seems like he's been working with the Faces very closely for a long time. I mean, it was a very tight meeting, and usually tight meetings, you know, the people that are there are pretty much looked at by the Faces as high-ranking members. And it was only him and Brandon Valentino, and then myself and another asset on Charlie's side. And he said that I don't know if Charlie sometimes, like when he talks, it's hard to understand it. He said that they were going after a meme, and he said it's only important because of not necessarily who they're going after, but because of this. It's important because of who this person trusted. And then he went and said the house, to get into that house, it's controlled by a process. Need to understand what entry is supposed to happen. Not again sure what the fuck that means, but I guess don't force your way in there. There's an open window of opportunity that we need to figure out when that window is open. There's a job next week to obtain the Wolves International scheduling data. Find where Daniel Corbett works. He is the key.
Okay.
Thoughts on that?
Quick clarification. What is the mission to gain? It's Wolves International.
Wolves International scheduling data.
Scheduling data. Thank you.
Any questions so far?
So they're going after Daniel Corbett. That part makes sense. You said they're something about a meme? Did you say meme?
Yeah, I don't know if it was like I don't know how to explain it yet. I don't know if it's like his you know, sometimes his voice, like he does some weird shit with his voice. I don't know how to explain it.
Okay.
But it sounded like he said meme, but I don't know why he would say that. So he probably could have said something else, but I don't know.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. We're never gonna figure it out. It's relevant again.
I have some thoughts, but I will save them until.
No, please, by all means, let's go through it right now.
I have had an inkling for a while as to who might be the one that is feeding info to Diego by virtue of a couple of strange occurrences that have happened.
Oh my
I think
god.
Quentin Quantum is the one that might be the man on the inside.
What?
Almost a month and a half ago, I was, it was shortly after what happened at the Epsilon building. I was gathering wood with Quentin, and I believe Jimmy Jones, if memory serves correctly. And Quentin was on the phone, talking to people, kind of lingering, waiting around. This was shortly after I had gotten information from Jeremy Shimizu and EMS that Diego was looking to hunt me down. Shocker. We were waiting for Quentin to get in the truck, and while he was lingering and waiting around, Diego showed up. And I basically had to yell at him to get in the car so that we could get out without Diego presumably seeing us. He obviously did.
Oh my god.
And also, Quentin has been very... There are some people who speak in a very suspicious manner, and that is their natural state of things.
Yeah.
Quentin, I think, has a pattern of doing things that are self-serving in a way that he thinks will be beneficial to him. Especially since he was struggling for a while to regain the love and attention of his now divorced ex-wife. And he has shown more interest in having personal one-on-one conversations with me, more than he did prior to New Babylon. He will do this thing where he acts like, oh, we're all friends, let's have a conversation. So I made sure to bore him with tales about how much I miss my husband.
That's fucking insane.
That is what I think. I could be off, but, you know, if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck,
then it's the rat.
Now I'm hoping I can leverage, especially with this in mind, more of the fact that people think I am an easy mark to maybe get more insight, but it is not my time to ask questions, it is my time to observe.
What do we think Mr. D is?
Mr. D.
Mr. D?
There, of course, have been people that have been quite vocal in one way or another about their opinion on how things are going in Babylon. Would it be someone who is outwardly frustrated, or would it be someone who is perhaps harboring more quiet resentment? Because obviously they know, or at least have a way to find out who to reach out to if they wish to, you know.
Well, my concern is, one, is the person that's going to approach this guy and call himself Mr. D, is Mr. D related to who he actually is, or is it a random alias to protect himself? I don't know which is which, because one, would this person ever assume that New Babylon can even get this information ever by him approaching the Faceless? Probably not. Then is he likely confident to use his own letter to his name? I think he would, and if that's the case, the only person I can think of is Dev. Who else starts with a fucking D?
And Dev would actually line up with what you said. But I have barely seen Dev around. I've seen him maybe twice since he got fired from Rome. And super late. And he barely speaks.
Okay, so that we can backtrack then. Would this person use Mr. D related to his real name at all? If the answer then is no, then we're never going to find out who this person is.
I will agree, Dev does seem to be a likely candidate.
I mean, the thing is, for me, I don't think anybody is unlikely. So if you could tell me any name, and I'd be like, yeah, okay, probably, then yeah.
My top 5 would be Dev, Quentin, Leon, Tommy, and maybe Jeff.
Yeah, so pretty much shit is cooked. You're absolutely burnt. I think you need to hide your scar as much as you can. Any permanent thing that you have on you needs to be hidden, obviously, every single time. But it just is what it is. This is not something that was meant to be, and that you were going to be undercover forever and never get caught. Like eventually you would. So it seems like that eventual has happened now. So I did also tell him that I do think it was you and Eliza. I mean, at that point, it's better to just use that to my advantage instead of trying to deter you guys. I just kind of painted a bigger target on y'all's back. I didn't really have a choice there, though, unfortunately.
I mean, quite frankly, I think if Diego is this heavily involved, there's not a world in which anything we do doesn't get sussed as us.
Yeah, but honestly, like his notes that he was going through with Brandon Valentino, like it was very I don't know the word for it, but it was very like well put together. I was very impressed, I guess, with what they put together. So it didn't seem like he was accusing y'all out of his hate for y'all. Like it really seemed like it was a method to the madness there. Honestly, I almost believed it myself.
It's the scar, right? Is there anything else? I guess the building.
I mean, like I said, he was going through a bunch of shit, like the fucking building, his relationship with Eliza, the fact that you both like to investigate, like the conversations he's had with both of y'all. Like it was, like I said, there was a method to his madness there. It didn't seem random.
Okay, so I know you said like the fact that they got things wrong is not important, but I just need to try and understand who gave them what information. So that's what I'm gonna ask about real quick.
How am I ever supposed to know that?
Well, I just want to hear, like, I'll ask some questions real quick. So when I had my scar out, that was the day that we all went to the bank together. Remember, with my dark hair up. That was when I did not use an accent as well. My other identity where my scar is covered, that's when I have blonde hair with an accent, which is why it's worrisome that
define covered. How did you cover that scar?
I was wearing a sweater that covered my neck.
And it covered your neck 100% of the time? There was never a moment where it was exposed for a second? Are you sure? Like you can say that with full confidence?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I don't know. Can she say that with full confidence? They clearly know about the scar.
So that makes me wonder if Elliot calling me Sarah, which is the other disguise, was on purpose and whether that was a setup.
But yeah, I mean, either way, like it's all irrelevant, right? The sus already exists. Like you can prove it, you can disprove it right now.
No, I know.
But it exists. You know what I mean? It's like it doesn't even matter to have this conversation, honestly. The fact of the matter is y'all are exposed. There's gonna be a target on your back. We have to decide what we do here moving forward. There's shit apparently happening next week to get the schedule, and then eventually we need to get in this fucking house and see what the fuck this is about. It also doesn't help that you both have scars on your neck. You know what I mean? So like it just makes it way more sus. Like it really does make it way more sus. I'm not the kind of guy like where it's like, oh, like we live in a city of millions of people. I get that, but at the same time, it's like you both do have scars on your neck, and you both are somewhat related to Diego in some way, shape, or form, especially on the more of the hostility end, especially Eliza, right?
Yes, indeed. And that is something I do need to be extra cautious about, I suppose, because we did work very closely on a lot of things, especially on the clandestine information gathering. And so he had an idea on how I operated.
And then let's go even further, right? If Quentin is the inside guy, and then Diego goes, hey, anybody with scars on their neck in New Babylon, he mentions both of y'all by name, like it's gonna spot the guy that controlled. You can go even further, like this Elliot guy mixing you up. Maybe he's the one that gave the information to Diego, and he mixed you up. And he said, oh, there's this chick who was blonde hair and accent, but she had a scar on her neck. But in reality, he was trying to talk about the chick that wasn't with the blonde hair accent that did have a scar on her neck, and he just mixed it up, right? So then he's taking that information as gospel and going forward with it. So there's so many ways that he can come to this conclusion.
Well, okay, Robert, are we sure that Robert isn't maybe David Roberts?
David Roberts, that's what I'm thinking.
Surely, right? Because I don't know a fucking Robert in all of this.
Well, I mean, that's probably him, yeah. I'm just calling him by his last name. So.
Because we do know that David Roberts has ties to La Garra cartel, and the potential that Caleb Rowe, who, you know, we kind of gave to the Faceless, also has ties to La Garra cartel, could have led them to him. And then I don't know how David Roberts would know anything about Sarah, though. Or, sorry, Caroline. I'm just trying to make the connections.
I think CJ's too caught up figuring out how she fucked up. I'm gonna be honest. All right, let's move forward.
I'm just trying to go through like the path they would have taken. Okay, I guess the end all be all of this is we're both now trying to get to Daniel Corbett.
Yeah. And then
Eliza and I can't really do that. So it's likely going to be you, right?
yeah, and then now they have a mission to go after this guy named Robert Collins. Brandon Valentino in particular has this mission. I think it's happening today.
Wait, Elliot Collins?
Robert Collins. You will locate Robert Collins, track current residence, workplace movement patterns, identify routine timings, entry exit points, and isolation of windows. Confirm identity. Visual confirmation required before engagement. Cross-reference behavioral patterns consistent with security background. Secure target. Attain without public disruption. Control environment immediately upon contact. Prevent communication escape or external alert. Extract intelligence. You are to obtain current or last known location of Amanda Miller, known associates, handlers, or relocation facilitators. Any fallback sites, safe houses, or scheduled movement details of prior assignments tied to Miller's protection. Transfer or release. Await further instruction upon successful extraction. Target is not to be terminated unless explicitly overridden. Operational notes. Colin is not a strategist. He is infrastructure. A man positioned close enough to sensitive movement without ever being considered important. That is why he matters. Security contractors like Collins operate on routine discipline. Repetition mistaken for safety. Awareness limited to immediate threat. Confidence built on outdated environments. He will rely on habits formed under Amanda Miller's employment. Those habits will now be weakness. Do not rush the approach. Observe first. Break pattern second. Take control third. And it's a man named Robert Collins. Last known Legion Square. He's a critical priority, and his status is active. And that is who they're going after for today. Any questions on that?
Not from myself at the present moment.
CJ?
No.
All right. I guess we'll wait till next week. See what comes out of this whole fucking mission Falcon's supposed to go on. Obviously, y'all just gotta watch your backs from anybody. And one thing we for sure don't do is tip off anybody. We don't tip off Quentin. We don't tip off Dev. We just wait and see. Nope. All right. I have to fill in Stab though before he does some dumb shit.
Nope. I will sit back and observe.
Any other questions? No questions at all?
Not at the present moment, no. Soaking in the information and trying to think.
TJ?
No, I might later after I can like process all of this, but not currently.
All right, let's go to trade day.
Mm-hmm.
Is this 5.0? Yeah, this is 5.0. Welcome, brother. I crashed out on Twitter. It was weak. OG. Yeah, I mean, that was just disgusted, bro. Like, Luka Doncic goes down, and instead of, you know what, let's take this opportunity and see like if LeBron can figure this out. Maybe we walk away with something, right? Let's see how it looks like with LeBron James running this offense. Let's see if we can walk away with a little bit of a silver lining here. Maybe, right? Today's fucked. We're getting spanked. We're down 40. Luka Doncic got injured. Let's try to walk away with something. Nope. Let's make Austin Reeves our first option, and for the next 3.5 minutes, we're gonna watch Austin Reeves and DeAndre Ayton go brick for fucking brick and call it a day. That shit was disgusting to watch. All right, there's a bunch of people that wanna. Do we have Babylari and shit here? I gotta go grab it for you. CJ.
What's up? Sorry.
Babylari, we're converting gold. Are you locked in?
Yes. Sorry.
Okay, I'm gonna handle it. I'll handle it. Don't worry about it. I'll go
Okay,
grab your shit. This is fucking pathetic. But again, like I said, I know chat like was like waiting for me to crash out and shit, but it's at the same time, guys, I expected all this to happen. Like, I mean, I've been saying it for weeks, right? Like, Austin Reeves cannot be the second option. This is literally why. He just doesn't know how to beat teams. Like, he does not know how to beat teams. Is the plan on going to playoff games? Yeah, absolutely, of course, right? I think we'll get. I still think they can get out the first round. It really depends on who they get, though. I think it's got to be the Rockets, and then the Nuggets. And the only reason why I think they could win the series with the Nuggets is because it's just going to come down to who plays better offense, because they're both horrible defensively. And I'm not going to let Chad gaslight me into saying that Denver is a good defensive team. But number one pick I'd rather than play against is the Rockets. Either way, either matchup is not going to be easy first round. It ain't going to be a sweep. It ain't going to be none of that. It'll be a game. It'll be a series they have to